So, are you setting yourself up for what so many call the American dream? Well, today's guest is going to talk about money. Was that talked about in your family? Do you talk about that in your current family? The education of money can be just a family conversation. So, let's see what she has to share. Hey Giants, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm speaking with Azzurra. Hi Azzurra, how are you?
Hi, doing great. Nice to meet you all.
Yeah. Well, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and what you do, please.
Yes, absolutely. I'm Azzurra Missinato. I live in San Diego, California, and I'm originally from Italy. So a long time ago, back in 2008, I came to the US for the American dream, and I have been in science for over 20 years and try to find the cure for cardiac diseases.
Oh,
And yeah, after
that's a big
many, many
deal.
it is. And I spent many years doing experiments in the lab, which I loved. It was so much fun, challenging, but a lot of fun. And then 2 years ago, I decided to transition and pivot. And basically now I'm in personal finance. So now I help people, and mostly highly achiever individuals, to understand how money work, because I got a PhD and I never took a class about how money work. And so I decided really to pick up some books and read and learn and ask questions. And so what I do right now, I said that this information is so important. I cannot really undo and unlearn what I just learned. Is so powerful. So I decided to join the crusade basically and educate people, mostly from the middle class, because we don't want anybody to be left behind. We have such a powerful information.
Wouldn't that be just a great class to put into high school requirements?
Mhm.
Learn,
Absolutely.
learn about money, kids. Come on, it's important.
Exactly. Money and also believe like first aid classes, they
Mhm.
should be mandatory because you can be in the opportunity that you need to help somebody right away. So
Yeah,
why don't we just teach everybody how to do first aid, right?
wow, that's true. So where do you think that most mid-range financial Americans don't understand?
Yes, so I think I came here from Italy, right?
Mhm.
Thinking, oh my God, America is the wealthiest country in the world. But I realize single individuals by themselves, they really struggle on a daily basis. There are so many people going from paycheck to paycheck, despite they work so hard, right? And so I think, of course, each situation each is different. And that's why we do like a personalized approach. We try to tailor the tools according to each individual. But so far, what I have been learning in just 2 years of this new career and new business is I feel like people don't have a really already established saving habits. And
Mhm.
so mostly, yes, they like to buy things that they cannot afford. They say, oh, I'll pay later. Yeah, but now you're putting yourself into debt. And then when I read books, I understood that there are actually good ways to have debts and bad ways to have debts. So I feel like the majority of people, they use debts in a bad way, like just buying stuff that is not giving you more money or value, and they depreciate so fast,
Yeah.
rather than investing in something that, okay, now you spend now, but then you're going to have much more money later on. So I feel like according to the experience I had so far, is the blueprint from the mentality of how to spend money is wrong. It's like you don't need to spend more than what you have if what you want to buy is something that is not making you richer.
Good point. Yeah, there are things that you could invest in and not technically go, I don't know how to call it like in debt, but there are things that you can like invest in that's going to grow your business. So it's like paying itself off as you go,
Yes.
not just money that's not going to do anything. So that's a really good point. Sometimes it's hard for us to, in the American dream, hard for us not to go in debt because we see things that we just want. And so that's a
Mhm.
very good point. So like, how do I look at my money? Like, how can I coordinate my money so that I'm using it more wisely?
So I think we need to have a very structured idea and a tracking system, because sometimes we just say, oh, this is just $10. Yeah, just $10. But then a recurring, and you feel it's nothing. But then a recurring is a lot of money that you're giving away if it's something you don't really need, or something that is not serving you for a bigger income later. And so having a structure, and also understand as soon as you get your paycheck, you need to allocate money, and you need to pay yourself first. You don't want to pay Uncle Sam first, all your debts first. You want to make sure you have money left for yourself, for your future, because of it's going to affect all your relationship with family, friends, and with yourself as well. If you are happy and you have a saving habit, then you're going to see the whole world around you changes, because you are not stressed about money first. And so sometimes if the situation is tough, we need to say no to something. So something that is not serving us, we really need to have a priority list and stick to it. So if it's something so important, okay, find a way to get it. But if it's something that can wait, or it's not so urgent, or it's something not so important, we need to at least say, okay, it's a no for now, but you need to always have your big goal in mind. And so being a little bit sacrifices and more organized at first is gonna give you a better outcome in the future.
So when you look at this, are you looking more towards the personal money assets, or are you also combining the business money assets as well? You're
Yeah, so yeah, mostly we do a more personal. That's why it's very personalized approach, and we understand that each one situation can be totally unique, and so we try to tailor everything according to clients' need. But most people that we serve also, they are business owners as well. And so for that one, we can still try to help out and make like the business get more funding, even to get some new project going on, or to scale up, to get more clients. So it's something we don't do directly ourselves, but we have a very good connection with people that actually specialize on doing that. And so, yeah, so mostly we serve individuals, but we can also try to help out businesses as well.
okay. All right. Is this a process done just like on paper with columns, or is there a different way of doing this? I have a really hard time with paper and columns because it's
Me
still
too.
in my checking account.
Yeah, despite my scientific background and being a nerd myself, I still don't like columns and numbers. So basically, first of all, we have like a conversation with our potential clients. We don't even know if we can help them right away. So that's why the very first step is just to have a real consultation, because it's very important to understand where the people are and how we can even help. And sometimes we need to say, sorry, right now I cannot really help you. And I know it's hard also for us to say that, but we always look at people's interest before our own interests.
Mhm.
We're here to help out, not to give more stress on people's life. And so sometimes we need to say, yes, I understand right now there is not much I can do. I can refer you to somebody else to maybe even pay all your debts first before we can even work out. But then to answer your question is, yes, we don't really go through numbers, especially right away. We want to try to tailor the solutions and even give a few options so that the client can pick whatever feel is the best solution for them. So we are here to guide, but at the end we don't pick for the client. And usually we sit down, but we don't show really complicated graph or complicated numbers. We need to break it down. And for me, I always think, if I can explain a concept like as easy as possible, that like a 7 years old kid like my son can understand. That's what I want to give this information, because if it's so complicated, I cannot even understand myself. How can I explain somebody else?
Mm.
So my goal is always simplify, especially because I was terrified by finances a few years ago. I say, I don't even know where to start. I don't even want to look at numbers, and I don't even know to who to ask. And so for me, my mission is now make finances easy to understand, and tailor it according to clients' need. Yeah.
Which is harder, science or finances?
So I think both of them are tough. I think science is every day trying and trying, experimenting and failing. Most of the experiment fail, but that's how you learn. I say, okay, maybe I can try better. I feel like finance is easier on the technical side, because at the end, I think it's easier for me. But what is more difficult is interacting directly with people, because all my life I have been in the bench, just reporting to my boss and just talking with my colleagues. Here now I get the opportunity to meet with so many people. Everybody has a different personality. Everybody has a different situation. So
Mm.
for me, that's the hard part. So just interact with everybody, which I'm learning, and I feel at the end I feel like it's a blessing, because I say, oh my God, there are so much diversity out there, and everybody thinking a different way. So it's an opportunity to learn also from the people that I meet every day.
I think it would be hard too because we are all brought up differently in the range of money. As far as did your family talk about money? Did your family accept debt? Did your family not want to go in debt? All those kinds of things are ingrained in us. So
Yeah.
it's a really big, like a big mind shift change to be able to say, yeah, I can get out of debt and I can control my finances and I can save up for that, whatever. So there's a lot involved in money.
Absolutely. And it's funny because I was just talking with a financial coach like before our meeting right now. And we were discussing, I read this book, The Mindset of like the Millionaire Mindset. And actually, yes, it's so true that everybody has like a blueprint about money that have been with us since we were kids. So according to what our parents are telling us, so according to our own experiences. And if for some reason that blueprint is not positive, guess what? You're not going to become millionaire anytime soon, because before thinking about becoming rich, you need to fix your blueprint first and get a better idea of, and consider money like a gift, that without it you cannot help somebody else. And so I totally believe it. When I read the book a couple of years ago, I say, oh my God, this is amazing. And that relates to me because back in Italy, my parents never told me anything about money. They say, this is so private. We cannot even talk about it. So I had no clue how much money my parents were making.
Mm.
And I never ask, because I say they don't want to share with me, and I'm not confident asking them. So right now, for me, now asking people about money was also hard initially for me to change my mindset. While now I feel like, no, if you don't ask, you will never know if you can help. And so I totally believe it's whatever a relationship you had in your head when you were a kid is affecting a lot of your future. So if it's something you don't like, you gotta start thinking differently, get some coaching support as well, because that's the key. Otherwise, you can, some people, many people, they can receive a bunch of money like people that win the lottery and then lose everything after a few months because, again, the blueprint was wrong. And so it's not about how much money you can make and how fast, but how you're gonna use them, and what's the strategy? Do you have a strategy? Yep.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah, it's you could have all the money of the lottery and still be broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
Especially, yeah, if you think you need to buy luxury houses or luxury cars, and then you are gonna spend much more money in a car insurance or in a fuel, because those cars they drink so much gas, right? And
yeah.
so yeah, you can lose everything that you get. If you come from like a wealth family and they teach you how to properly use money, and also that's the good That's how basically you have already a head start compared to other people because somebody told you. For me, yeah, nobody ever told me, and that's why I said, okay, I need to educate myself because there is no way I came here for the American dream and then I'm just working 24/7 and still broke.
Yeah. Yeah, because I really think that we were put on the earth to help people and make a difference. And if all we can do is work to pay off our debt,
Yeah,
then that's really not the direction that I really feel that was our purpose. So,
exactly.
yeah. And Giants, we want you to be happy. We want you to have time with your family, and we want you to have a successful business. And that's the reason, one of the reasons why I asked Azura to come and share with you is because so many businesses are not using their money wisely. And there's a reason why new businesses only last 3 years. It's because they're not using their money wisely, either the money that they have or the good debt, the bad debt, all of that comes together to help you grow a successful business. And so
Yeah,
talking to somebody like Azura, as far as like, here, lay it all out. Here's my money. Here's where it is. Here's where it's going. And, guide me, give me some input on how to use it more
yeah,
wisely. And then as the money grows, as your business grows, then
mhm,
you'll understand how to handle the additional money
yeah,
and help your business grow in that way as well.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are all here for a purpose, as you were saying. And so I remember when I was working in the biotech, despite I loved what I was doing, but I was so stressed out because of such tight deadlines and so much pressure. And so then I was coming back home. I didn't have any energy to spend with my family. And so I said that this gotta change because I have a son and I wanna enjoy every day of his life because basically they grow really when they say they grow so fast, it's real.
It is. Yeah, it is very real. I know. So now, if you're enjoying this conversation, make sure to check out, I'm not sure which site it's going to be on, but there's a link to a video that will also help you grow your business in additional ways. So, any closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. So I feel like despite people are scared to even talk about money sometimes because of that blueprint that we just discussed, I
Hmm.
feel like everything starts with a conversation and genuinely admitting, okay, I need the help. Or maybe I say, okay, I'm doing already good, but how can I go to the next level, right? And so I feel like just removing fear from money and also simplify concepts so that the clarity can guide our next decision rather than stress and pressure. So I think it just connecting with people and genuinely understand their own situation. So that is the approach we mostly use. It just we are all human, we are all in the same boat. Let's try to help each other rather than competing or to stress each other, right? So,
Oh, very true. And it's just like the more education and the more knowledge you have, especially about things like growing your business, how to handle the finances, the good debt, good and the bad debt, the better you're going to have for your family and the better success you have set up for yourself and your family. So I think these are very important conversations to have.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, well,
So
Azura, thank you so
yeah,
much. I will have all your contact information below. So, Giants, please reach out, have a conversation. It's easy to talk about, and Azura can give you some great advice and some great direction on what to think about and how to look at your money and your finances, because that's going to be your future and your children's future. So,
yeah, exactly. No, thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate your invite and I really admire what you do. And I'm so excited to get to connect with more people on a daily basis. So thank you for this.
well, thank you. All right, Giants, we'll see you next time.